Hello, and good evening. My name is again Kevin Larkin, and I wanted to go over in this video the teaching value questions from the Truth Teacher Services. So the first question is, what does good teaching mean to you? For me, good teaching means to be able to explain the subject to your students, as well as being able to give them answers to their questions in a positive manner. So being able to interact positively and be able to explain it in a fun way, I think is really what involves a lot with good teaching and good teachers. So for me, for the second question here, what sort of classroom culture would I like to build during the first week? I really want to build a classroom culture where students are encouraged to ask questions. If they're unsure of things, I want it to be okay for them to be like, hey, I have a question, can we go back again and talk about this? Because if someone isn't understanding what I'm presenting, it means that I've missed my goal. I need them to be on the same page as everyone else and not have anyone fall behind, because that's really what you don't want. And it's really hard if someone doesn't get something in the first 10 minutes for them to be engaged for the full time. And I also want to let them know that having the wrong answer to something doesn't mean they're wrong or it's bad. It means that, hey, they're participating and that it's good that they're engaging, and then we can find the correct answer from the wrong one. I really want to build that right at the start. So the next question here is, what was my favorite teacher from the past, and what was he or she like? So my favorite teacher was at Temple University. I took him for 2 different classes. His name was Dr. Gratson. He's probably one of the hardest teachers I've ever taken. However, he was probably the most fun at the same time. He expected a lot out of his students, which is a good thing. You want the teacher to know that he's going to be putting as much effort into it as you are. And what was really nice about his classes is before we started every day, we took 10 minutes, or sometimes even more, to just talk about something that was currently going on, or if someone had to explain something or had something brought up in their life, we would talk about it to see what the class thought and how to bring it up. We did a lot of current events in that class. It was a lot of fun. He was my debate teacher, so when we physically debated topics for other people, he would get to listen to both sides and be able to critique both sides. But I thought that was really important, to just be able to have a mindset from 2 ends of the spectrum and really be able to help out everybody that had a question. Again, I thought he was a great teacher. It's probably, again, my favorite. So number 4 is, what would you do with an unresponsive or negative student? I have to say, back when I was in high school and middle school and grade school and all that time, I don't think I was a particularly good student. I hate saying that because I've gotten better over the years, but like I didn't always pay attention to everything, because I would just listen and be like, okay, yeah, got it, good, and move on. And I think teachers didn't always handle it the best. So I think the best way, because they started being more engaged in high school to get me into it, but to deal with an unresponsive student is to really just try to engage them. So you can't force anyone to do anything, but rotating people around in groups, making sure you're not calling on the same person for every single question really helps. Bring everybody in to know it's like a team, that everyone gets through this. We're all in here together, and we're not going to leave anybody behind. So if maybe he's having a bad day, you can let it have that bad day. But if it's continual, you got to let him know you're there for them, or you're there for her, being like, hey, I know everything's not going well, but what can I do to help? So you get it. Are you missing something? Because we can go back. We can take the time and explain it, and I think that is extremely important. So the next question here is, which I love, you prepared a great lesson for the day and the principal changes it suddenly. What do you do? So with that, I think you just go with it. When it gets changed, the kids aren't going to know that, hey, I had this great lesson plan and I'm not going to get to teach it today, but we're going to get to do something else instead. And you have to build it up, meaning a lot more fun, because they aren't going to know unless you tell them. And I think that's the best part. You can't let it show on yourself that you're upset that maybe your lesson got canceled. You can maybe get to it later. If not, that's okay. If the principal says this needs to be done, then it needs to be done, and I'm fine with changing things suddenly. I think I'm okay with that. And if I was hired, how would you make the school a better place from week 1? I think I went over that a little bit in the other questions, but to reiterate, I would like to make a classroom where the students are allowed to ask questions. They're allowed to be wrong in their answers because that's okay. I just want them to be able to participate, to have a lot of fun, and to learn while they're there. Okay. I believe that's all the questions. If you have any more for me, please shoot them my way. And have a great night, okay?